What's up, everybody? We have a Mercedes 2008 CLK 350, and we're going to be doing the spark plugs and an oil change on it, and then I'll be doing a brake inspection. And if I end up doing the brakes, I will do another video on that. But today all we're really going to be doing is spark plugs and an oil change. And on the oil change, we're going to try the vacuum pump out and go through the dipstick tube to suck it out, and we're going to see how good of a job it does. Because once I pull all that I can out of it, I'm going to jack it up, and then I'll drain the plug, use the plug and drain it from the bottom to see how much extra comes out, and that way give us a good idea about how good these things actually work. But first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the spark plugs and show you how to do that. As you can see, I removed the engine cover. All it does, it just, you pop the front piece right here off, and it just latches in here, and then that right there just pops down on top of the engine, and the actual computer sticks through on the cover. But we're going to get to it here in just a second. Let me grab my tools and I'll be right back. Alright, so I went ahead and stuck this hose down in here as far as I could. It's in the dipstick. You can see right there. And now I'm going to see how much I can pull out of it with the vacuum pump. And as you can see, it started pulling it out pretty quick. So we're going to see how much it'll pull out. I'm not going to show it doing it the entire time, but I'm going to do it until it starts to see the bubbles come through. But I'm going to do this, and then whenever I get right to the end, I'll be right back. While we're waiting for the oil over there to drain, I've had it going now for probably about 5 minutes. But while we're waiting for it to drain, we're going to go ahead and take these plugs out. I've already taken out some of them. And these use a T30 Torx bits on the bolts that hold it in. And then on the plug itself, there's a safety clip. Just pop it off with a screwdriver and you click it down and pull off. And then these just pull right out. And I do have these in order in which they came out. You don't have to, but I just like to do that just to keep them in the same cylinder that they were in. And it uses a 5/8 for the plug, and they can be a little tight at first. And these are Mercedes original plugs right here. And once we get it loose, we can go back with our impact driver. Sorry, I know it's a little shaky. Now we can pull them out. And as you can see, they're burning pretty good. I can get it out. There we go. But yeah, they've been burning pretty good. There's no leaks inside of the cylinders. I don't know how well you can see down in there, but there's no leaks inside of it, which is good on any of the cylinders. And I put all my bolts in one of these little magnetic trays. And these are all the plugs right here. Like I said, they all look pretty good. But we have the new plugs, and I did go back with the NGK iridiums right here. That is the part number. It is LKR7AIX and 93911. And they're supposed to be pre-gapped. I have checked them. They are all good. And I'm going to put a little bit of anti-seize on them, and then I'm going to throw them all back in here and put the coils back on before, and then I'm going to put a little bit of dielectric grease in there too, just to make sure no moisture gets in there. But I'm still letting the oil drain. As you can see, it's probably pulled out probably about 2 or 3 quarts now. But I'm going to throw these back in real quick, and then once this gets through, I'll show you what it looks like after it gets through sucking all the oil out. I got the coils back in, and I got the connectors on them, and here's the driver's side, there's the passenger side. Next step we're going to do is remove the oil filter, and to remove the cap you're going to need a 74 millimeter 14 flute oil filter wrench to do this. For the life of me I cannot find mine, so I'm going to show you a little hack that I use to take them off whenever I don't have the right size or I can't find it apparently. As you can see on the cap, I don't know how well you can see it, but it says 25 Newton meters. Really isn't that much. But what we're going to do is we're actually going to use one of these tools, and they should fit around here. Let me set you down and I'll get it back on there. So I got one of these rubber band style oil filter wrenches, and these work great on these right here because it does put pressure on them. And as I said, it's only 25 Newton meters, so it's not like it's really tight. So we're just going to twist it. As you can see, it's coming off actually pretty good if I can get it. And I may even be able to get it off by hand now. Yeah, it's a little tight, but it's coming. There's your filter right there, and let me take this out. It just pops in. Let me take it out real quick and I'll show you the new one and the part number. Just as a little tip, if you need to set it down to keep it from rolling while you take these rubber O-rings off right here, you can actually flip it upside down and set it down in the oil filter housing. But it should have 3 O-rings on it, one right here, one right there, and then the actual gasket for it. So you can use a pick and it should pull right off. Same with the other 2. Just get underneath it and work it off of there. You can also cut them if you want to. Here is the new filter. I did get a Wix. It's got a little oil on it, but part number is 57078, and it should come with all the gaskets or O-rings or whatever you want to call them, and the filter. Right, as you can see, I got the new filter in, put the new O-rings on, and I even lubed up the O-rings. I always do that so you don't tear them. And if you have the tool, make sure you torque it back down to 25 Newton meters. And if you're using one of these, just go off your judgment as to what you think it is. Just don't over tighten it, because you can actually crack these caps and make it harder for the next person to take it off. But I'm going to tighten this up now, and we're going to check the oil level here in just a minute, and I'll be right back to show you that. We only got about 4 quarts out of the engine with the vacuum pump, because I don't believe it was going all the way down in the bottom of the oil pan with this right here. It was hitting something, I could feel it. I just wasn't sure if it was hitting the bottom of the pan or hitting maybe like a baffle or something. But I've already drained it, and to do this you have to take these covers off. This one right here is the cover for the transmission. This is for the engine. There should be 12 bolts on here. He only has 9. He's missing about 4 of them, but like 3 or 4 of them. But we're going to put them back on in the order that we got them out of, just because it was holding pretty good. But I've already drained it. The oil pan bolt is actually a 13 millimeter, and it will hit one of the brace bars on there when you go to take the plug out, and it's going to get oil all over one of the brace bars. But we'll just wash it off with some brake cleaner, and I think we pulled out about another 5 quarts of oil, because this does hold 8.5, and I'll show you the oil I'm using right now. This is what I'm using right here. It is 040 European Car Formula Mobil 1, and this is rated to go in the car. I've already checked the specs, because I know some of the Mercedes are weird about their oil. Here is the drain plug. I've already cleaned it as good as I can. I got a new crush washer on there. Not yet, but I got a new one I'm going to put on there, and then we'll throw it on. And once I get it all in, we're going to go inside and make sure there's no lights that need to be reset or any of that stuff. But I'm going to go ahead and fill this up real quick. I'm in a car now, and I'm going to tell you how to reset the oil life on one of these. I've already done it on here just to make sure it'll work, but we're going to stick the key in the ignition, turn it to the on position, and once you do that, the whatever pops up on the menu is use your arrow keys until you can get to the service menu right here. Once you're in that, hold the trip button right here for about 3 to 5 seconds, and once it pops up the menu asking you if you're sure you want to reset it, let it go, and then push it back in for about 3 to 5 seconds, and you should hear a beep once it resets. And that's pretty much resetting the oil life on one of these, and it should apply to the 2004 to 2009 CLKs, and I think that's just about all CLK models, you know, no matter what number you have. And that's pretty much going to conclude the video right here. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them in the comment section below. I'll get to them as soon as I can. And then if you would, please hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell. And until next time, y'all have a great day.